Welcome back to the 5-7 podcast. It is I, Mike Salinas, joined once again with the P, the R, the E, pre.
What's going on, brother?
Not much. Just here on this lovely Wednesday night on the cusp of March Madness.
This is what it's all about for you.
Oh, you know it, my man. I plan on being fairly intoxicated by 1 p.m. tomorrow.
You know, I saw IU go from 12 to 2 to out of it, so it's pretty depressing.
Yeah. I had no when they went on that pretty bad losing streak you had told me about. I couldn't believe that. I knew they kind of pretty much doomed themselves after that point.
Yeah, they did.
But yeah, man, let's dig on in today. I know you had some stuff on your mind you want to get off, and let's hop right into it.
So we're going to talk about nepotism today. And for those who don't know what nepotism is, it's when you're in a position of power in an organization and you pretty much give like your children or a family member, just a straight up job or help for nothing, just because they are who they are and they're not qualified. So recently it's come out that Lori Laughlin and Felicity Huffman are in quite a bit of trouble because there is this huge college bribe scandal going on. And it's like, okay, is it really a big deal? And it is, because there's a lot of other people that are involved too. It's a very, very big suit, but there are some notable celebrities that are involved. And what they were doing was that they were paying off, they were giving tons of money to, certain individuals or kind of certain charities to allow their kids to go to college because, well, their kids are too dumb to get in anyways. So I think Lori Laughlin gave like $500,000 to USC so that they could say that their daughter was on the crew team, which is I believe like the rowing team. And then since she has a, sort of like a scholar, like an athletic type of role, that she can go to school. And there was probably some other kid that was more deserving that could have been on that rowing team. And in Felicity Huffman's case, they straight up they paid like a proctor, so that when their daughter took the SATs, I think she scored a 1,000, and then he fixed it so that she ended up scoring like a 1420. And then Bruce Isaacson paid $250,000 for his daughter to go to UCLA, and she went onto the UCLA soccer team. I think the coach got $100,000, and I don't know where the rest of the money went. But so she's on this team, and they actually said that it was one of the best recruited UCLA like college soccer teams ever. And they had five members from, I believe, the U.S. national team. And she was on there, and she was just absolutely horrible at soccer. But the point isn't that how bad or good she was at soccer, but it was that she got paid to get in. So, and if you really think about it, there's a lot of other people, say alumni that go to colleges, and then they're like, yeah, I'm going to make a donation to the school. Oh yeah, but by the way, my kid's going to be coming to college. That stuff happens all the time. You see these donations that are made to colleges by alumni, and their kids just happen to go to the same place. Do you think that falls in line with the same thing, Mike?
I don't. I don't, because I think that's pretty out in the open. Hey, they just donated a library that is, benefits $4.5 million and it goes to the school, and it's actually benefiting more students. I think they've earned the right to send their dumbass kid to the school. In this case is more selfish. They're just trying to help themselves and nobody else, and they're actually eliminating a spot from a deserving kid.
Yeah, they said that some people, I believe it ranges from $200,000 to $6.5 million of payments made so that these kids can go to school. And if you really think about it, man, imagine, okay, say you're a celebrity, okay, or you're somebody of importance, or you just have a lot of money, and your kid is, your kid can't get into college, by merit. So you want to pay to get them in, and you pay $6.5 million to get in. How many college educations can you pay with that, man?
Man, quite a few, I think. It depends where you go. I mean, I could probably get about 18 kids into DeVry.
You might be able to get 200 kids.
I might be able to get 300 kids into Lincoln Technical Institute. We can all be working on cars in no time. And Becky, you bitch.
Can you believe that, man? And they're showing like little things that she said on social media where she was like, "Oh, I can't believe I paid so much to send you to school," or something like that. And her daughter was like a YouTube personality, I believe. She had like 1 million followers on YouTube. What's the big deal? What do they need to go to college for? Obviously, if you've got 1 million subscribers on YouTube, you're probably making money off of that, aren't you? I mean, they're making probably decent money off of that, aren't they?
Yeah, I think once you get to 100,000, that's when you start collecting some cash. I don't know how much, but yeah, I mean, 1 million, you should be getting something. I mean, your school's paid for, so you don't got to worry about room and board. I think you're okay with there. I like the fact that my boy Jim Carrey comes out and starts slamming them all on Twitter.
What did he say?
It's not only Lori Laughlin, Felicity Huffman, and their kids, but all cheaters who will eventually receive a failing grade. All cheaters who will eventually receive a failing grade. Kind of a little backwards there, but he's checking everybody every chance he gets, and he's kind of funny sometimes about it.
Yeah, he does. He's been like, I think, been doing like these paintings of Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Have you seen any of those, man?
Yeah, I'm looking at one of his paintings right now. His little drawings. He's losing it.
Yeah, he is. He is.
He is. The Illuminati must have got to him, man.
There's something going on
with him.
There's something in the water.
It is. Jeez. But yeah, I mean, it's entertainment. Whatever he wants to do is cool. But I like the way he's come out and talk a little shit.
What do you think about nepotism? What do you think about okay, there's one side of the story where you could say, hey, it's your company, it's a free world, you could do whatever you want, and then on the other side of that, it's like, yeah, but what about everybody else? Does it always have to be about everybody else? If you own your own business, you can do whatever you want, but at the same time, what's wrong with helping family?
I kind of see both sides of it, man. Especially in the area we live in, the steel mills are very prevalent around here. People that are getting in the steel mills is because they know somebody. Their father works there, so they got him in. Their uncle works there, their grandfather, and that's kind of their way in.
BP too.
Yeah, it's like BP, the oil companies, the steel mills. That's kind of your way in is by knowing somebody. And I guess maybe there's the old idea that if it's a hardworking person that's commendable, you're going to hire their children because you're assuming that hard work is passed on.
So what do you do? Like how do you feel about, just straight up giving somebody a job because they're, your cousin or somebody, Yeah,
I think it depends on the situation, man. I'm not totally against it and I'm not totally for it. That's not usually where I stand in the middle of things, but yeah, I usually like to.
That's why I'm really curious.
I like to pick one side or the other. Well, if I have to, I'd say I'm totally against it then.
Okay.
Listen, people say, I get you in here, I get you in there. We need more minorities here. Go fuck yourself. I don't want you. You don't need me. So I'll say that I am against it because you know what? Some of these people just don't have the same drive that the generations before us.
How about this? Let's say you've got we'll give you two situations. Say you've got a kid, he's just out of high school, or we'll say he's out of college, right? And you've got a really good friend, and he's like, "Hey, man, can you do me a favor and get my son a job?" And then you meet his son, and this kid is completely just doesn't give a shit, and he's like, "Whatever, man." Like, "Hey, my dad told me to be here. I'm here. Where's the cafeteria at?" You know what I mean? Like, how would you deal with that situation, even if like his dad was a really good friend and you knew that his dad really needed it? Like, what would you do?
Well, I'd assume his dad would have came up to me and not asked for a favor, but he would have said, hey man, can you do me this solid? I assume if he's this kind of individual, that's probably how it would have sounded. And I'd have to honestly tell him no. I'd have to tell him, I think your son is pretty worthless. You probably need to get him squared away before you bring that guy into my company, because he's actually going to do more harm than good. And I'm not here to give anybody any special treatment. I'd be like, look at your work ethic. You're a piece of shit yourself. How dare you? How dare you even? Yeah, how dare you even fucking ask this favor? You know, you're fired too.
Yeah, just for even asking to get his son a job, you pink slip him too. Another guy. What do you got? Another guy, and he's like, he's a hard worker, but he's just down on his luck, just hasn't been able to get anything. What would you do?
And he's the same situation. He's like, my son really needs this job, man. For his kid, or
yeah, his kid really, really needs it, man. His kid really, really needs it. He just doesn't have a job. Like, he's a good worker.
Yeah, man. I guess it depends if there's availability. He'd actually have to legit apply, and he would get an interview, and that would be, I think that's the opportunity he would get. He would definitely have that.
You'd make sure that he had at least got to the interview process.
Yeah, to the interview portion. Yeah, and that's about as far as I'd go with it. If people would say, man, if the people that interviewed him, they said, this guy really, he was pretty terrible. He wasn't even looking me in the eye. He wasn't prepared, didn't dress properly, didn't look like he would really wanted this. Then I'd say, you know what, we gave him an opportunity and he failed then. So there's not much more we can do here.
Yeah, I'd give him the opportunity of the interview. And maybe I'd even talk to him on the side and just to see where he is. Maybe he's intimidated. When you need a job and you're looking to get in somewhere, you don't want to come off as desperate. And then at the same time, you don't want to come off as nonchalant where you don't really care.
I will say for a fact, as far as in my own career, I've never seen anybody that was handed a job be good at it. Like ever. It's never happened, man. People that I work with that got a job because they knew somebody or because, they were a family member of somebody. They were always pieces of crap workers. Not one has been that stands out to me as a good worker. And I'm talking about some of my close friends and they know who they are. Stop doing it.
Yeah. It just kind of like really upsets me, that there's so many people that have student loan debt, like people who really worked hard, who did it the right way, and they're trying to get further in their careers and in their lives, and they're crippled with this student loan debt, and you've got these other people that are paying these exorbitant amount of monies just to get them in, and they're getting in on no merit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why these people didn't just cough up some more money and build a library or do some like significant donation to help more students out. More opening for 20 more students that can get into the college. And in turn, hey, you know what? You've actually earned a spot for your kid to come to because you're helping others. Do that.
Increase like the freshman class.
Yeah. What if you you donate something to actually improve housing? So we can now dorm 20 more students by doing this.
Sure.
And that's actually helping the school out immensely and giving more people an opportunity. So therefore, your kid can come. I think it makes sense, man. I mean, you're doing this much for other people. Sure, bring your kid in too.
What if that starts a precedent though, so that every celebrity's like, oh well, all I have to do is donate, 20 million, and then my kid gets into college. Next thing you know, like, so what happens after that?
It is a precedence. I mean, that's why every hall, every dormitory is named after somebody because it's been going on forever. I mean, they've been doing this stuff. The problem is these people are being cheap about it.
Sure.
And they're only helping themselves and not others.
Good point.
How dare you, Aunt Becky? Uncle Jesse's going to whoop that ass. When that red light's on, he's not recording. He's whooping some ass in the basement. That recording light.
Dude, I never watched the show, man. You never
watched that show?
No, I've watched like a couple episodes, but I was like, no, this show freaking sucks. And then they brought it back on Netflix, and I was like, oh God, it was terrible the first run. I can't even believe what it's like now.
I watched that show for a little while, and every show they always hit that like somber music, like, oh no, oh DJ, oh no, and she'd run out the room, or one of the kids would run out the room sad, like, I'll never be any good. And I always seen that, and then like they always got their way, or they had like a nice little talk with the father, and they're like, oh, we'll make it work, you will have that dog after all. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try that shit. So one day, man, I got into a fight with my parents, like at the kitchen table, and I was like, I'm leaving. I threw a couple of tacos on the floor. Man, before I can even get like 3 steps out the kitchen, I'm getting like hit with shit and getting my ass beat. That does not work in reality, man, or at least in a Hispanic household.
See, Full House did nothing for nobody then. It got your ass beat over there. I lost, maybe 60 minutes of the show of my life that I'll never get back.
Did you see this? Did you see this full worm moon live stream?
No. You know, it's like every day they're like, oh, this is going to be the last time we see the wolf blood moon in 5 years. And then it's like 2 days, it's like a month later when the next full moon comes. This is the last time we're going to get the blue eye moon in 8 years, you know? It's like, I know how many of these phenomena are there, you know? How many can there possibly freaking be, you know? It's like every full moon. It's like, oh my God, if you look at the moon today, it'll never be this big in like 20 years. And then it's like, 3 months later, they're like, if you look at the moon today, it's not going to be this big in like 4 years.
This is the last time you'll see the sun. Till the next 24 hours, because this is the longest day in history. Like, oh, okay, thank you.
Like the solar eclipse thing, that was, I didn't see it, but that was pretty cool. They're like, oh.
Now, can you really go blind from looking at that stuff?
Yeah, I believe you can.
I mean, is there any? You figure somebody's got to be on YouTube doing this,
yeah.
Right? Like, God damn it!
They showed President Trump trying to look into it without any glasses on.
That's hilarious, man.
Yeah. They say it's a really, really bad idea to do it. Like you can cause significant eye damage to your eyes.
I kind of want to try it.
They showed it in, they showed the footage in Champaign at U of I when it happened, and it was pretty cool. Like it was like night 4, like a couple minutes or something like that in the middle of the day. But at the same time, that's kind of creepy, don't you think? Especially after watching Berserk. When they showed that eclipse. And if you don't know, Berserk is an anime that is that's really really cool. If you want to check it out, Berserk.
The guy's got a huge sword, and it's not a porn. It's not a porn either. This is a real one. Real sword. But do you think it's made? What if it's a conspiracy? What if you did look at it and then you're able to see through walls or see through clothing? I mean, I don't think you'd be able to shut off powers if it was real.
Oh, that would suck. I mean, if you really think about it, that would suck. I mean, because if you're trying to read something that's written on the wall, but you can't because you're looking through it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's kind of like the give and take. That's like the Cyclops issue, He can't even look at anything without blasting somebody's head off.
Yeah, but he's got glasses that negate that, though. But we're saying like there would be there's nothing to negate the X-ray vision.
And you're trying to watch TV and you're just seeing through everything.
You're just seeing through everything. You could see right to the center of the earth.
Yeah, you actually have to you'd be seeing through your eyelids, so you couldn't even sleep.
Oh my gosh. Oh no. Well, if you have powers, wouldn't your eyelids be like the one thing that stops the power?
Maybe. I don't know. It's interesting.
That's usually the case. I mean, at least in like comics and stuff like that.
I mean, yeah, Cyclops, his lasers are being stopped by his foreskin eyelids. The paper-thin eyelids are blocking these freaking beams that are blowing up tanks.
He's got something, his eyelids are made out of something that negate his powers.
Fuck are they made out of?
No, there's like biologically, there's something like about them that stops the eye beams.
I guess there's always got to be something. I'm sure there's a backstory to it somewhere. We can dig that up.
There is. I'm surprised that I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I'm kind of upset with you right now. You don't have that in storage somewhere.
What about what if we have like Wolverine's powers where you can just heal yourself? Yeah. I mean, like it's cool, but like after you live for like 300 years, wouldn't you be like, okay, I'm ready to freaking die? Do you know what I mean?
I'm tired of watching my family die 3 times over.
Can you imagine that, man?
Dude, I wouldn't want to be that guy.
Yeah, me either. I mean, I'd like to automatically heal myself, but I wouldn't want to be Wolverine.
I don't think I'd want to be any of them.
Really?
Yeah.
I think Magneto's pretty cool.
Yeah. I guess if you have control on it, if you don't if you're not like having like, things like spoons and like forks are just coming at you all day long, like, shit, man, I'm trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
Having a hard time. My car I can't drive my car right now because I can't.
But you wouldn't need to. You wouldn't need to because you can fly.
Yeah, because that's how you want to go to work.
Hell yeah, dude. If I could fly, that'd be freaking awesome. And I'm not talking about like Superman flying. I'm like talking about like you're like levitating and like a magnetic ball over everybody.
What if flying made you smell? You know how like when guys ride bikes, like guys that ride motorcycles,
like you smell like the outside.
They get to the party and they smell like a bunch of trees. they smell like grass and like hay and sweaty ass. And that's one bad motherfucker. And then he pulls up like, man, he smells like fucking like fawn. and ginger root.
What is fawn?
I think it's like a dew or something like that.
A dew. What the heck? What kind of a dew?
I think it's something that deer like to play in or deer eat. Some sort of hibiscus. It only grows like in the deer regions where they are more prominent.
Are you making this up as you go?
Yes. Someone's gonna quote this and be like, in some sort of paper, and I'm gonna get in trouble.
Somebody will, man, and I'm gonna laugh about it.
Yeah, man, I was over here at this place. This guy said I smell like fawn. What the fuck is that? It's some sort of northern hibiscus. I guess you never heard that shit before. It grows in New Zealand or some shit like that. I don't know. Fuck.
Oh my gosh, dude.
But yeah, I think if you did arrive, you'd smell. But go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, but I had a Jeep. Did I smell when I drove my Jeep?
Yeah, every time.
Really?
No, because you're in the car. I mean, you didn't smell like outside. I mean, we don't. I mean, shit. I was in the car with you. So
yeah, I guess maybe you get a pass though. Do you get a pass? It's like, oh, he's got a Jeep. It's all good. Or it's like, oh, he drives a motorcycle. It's all good. He does. It's sort of like the smell is like negated, so that at that point you don't even smell.
I don't think so. I mean, do you get a pass if your farts smell like shit? Well, my God, the guy had beans for sake. Leave him alone.
But it's like, oh, okay, that's understandable. Yeah, it smells like rotten hell. Okay, I'll give him a pass.
Wait, we gotta talk about this real quick about this toilet etiquette. So, for those of you that aren't aware, as we're talking about going number 2, taking a poop.
I can't believe we're talking about this.
I gotta talk about this. So we got a text from a buddy. Won't name his name, Carlos, and he tells me he said he was taking a poop in a public restroom.
He was taking a shit. Guys take shits, and girls take poops.
He was taking a shit in a public restroom. And so he doesn't flush it when he poops. So he's just letting it sitting there and get nice and soft and soggy in the toilet water. And he said a guy walks in and you can hear him say, "Jesus Christ, man, throw some water on that." And I guess he laughed about it and he shared it with us. And he texted us.
And so what did he do?
Yeah, he didn't tell us what he did. He just asked us, "Do you guys flush it when you guys are pooping?" Because
oh, that's right. We should find out what he did. If he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and then, or the guy walks in and he's like, "Hey man, throw some water on it." And he's like, "Fuck you," and then there's nothing. So then the guy's kind of take a shit and it smells terrible. Or if he does what I would do, I'd say, "Hey man, that's not me." So then the guy gets like some kind of like, he's like thinking to himself, did he just lie to me or is it really somebody else? So then he goes to another stall and bangs on it. "Hey, throw some water on it." So the guy takes it personally. He's like, "Hey, don't ever bang on my fucking stall again."
Oh my goodness.
And then Carlos is sitting there with this gigantic smelly shit that he took, unflushed. Or maybe he did. I'm sorry.
So this whole Q&A began because he's like, "All right, what do you guys do when you guys are taking a public shit? Do you flush it as you go to help eliminate the smell?" And I was surprised to hear you guys say that you guys don't. You guys like to let it sit, let them suffer.
I put it off to somebody else. I'm like, "Hey, it's not me, dude." If somebody came into the bathroom, it's like, "Hey, man, why don't you give me a courtesy flush over there?" I'd be like, "It's not me, bro. It's not me, dude. It's this other guy."
Hey, friend, why don't you pee on that thing, will you? Jesus Christ. Yeah, I mean, I flush every time, dude. I flush usually 6 or 8 times.
Oh, so you're one of those sick fucks that likes to feel the water hit his ass after he flushes it, right?
No, that's why I like to work out my quads, and I do a little. I'm like standing up.
So you got like those shredded fucking quads because you're sitting there in the modified sit position.
It's leg day every day. I got some big ass quads and like some little ass calves.
Well, I think that's a good place to leave off there. You got anything else, Mike?
Yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed that one. And Carlos, I hope you listen to this one because you're a sick fuck.